What's going on, workforce? Brian here, and today we're just generally talking about Warrior and my opinions about the job in Stormblood. This is rounding out kind of my series on the Warrior in Stormblood, and this is obviously more an opinion piece about the job itself. Without further ado, let's just dive into my thoughts. So, somebody commented on one of my previous Warrior videos, and they asked, like, hey, it doesn't seem like you're really enjoying Warrior. And to clarify, it's not that I didn't enjoy the job, it's just not resonating with me personally. Honestly, I think the survivability, as well as the switching from Defiance and Deliverance and the Beast Gauge, is way better done in Stormblood than it is in Heavensward. Now, hardcore warriors might easily disagree, but the ability to, to store that, to be able to infuriate, to be able to fell cleave 6 times, to manage your hate, it is actually a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed the level 70 warrior as opposed to the level 60 to level 70. That gap closer is a huge plus in my opinion for the job in and of itself. And once I macroed that, even though I try to really kind of manage my macros more carefully in Stormblood because of the reduction of skills, there aren't as many that are required, because some of the things they did basically was what my macros would do. They would scale. I would create macros that would scale depending on the content. Well, now your abilities do that, which is really helpful. So I try to think of that. I did run into an issue with my Dark Knight macroing, my gap closer plunge in Shinru, and that was a nightmare. And so that's kind of where I took that away, especially for that fight. But bringing it in for the warrior was really helpful. You can use Onslaught as kind of a Beast Gauge dump, which is really helpful, especially if you're going to get more points than you are capped on and you're waiting for that inner release to come off cooldown before you can just switch into and go into fail cleave. That in and of itself is the most absolute satisfying piece of the job. I think the warrior did get the needed things to its toolkit, but as far as its raid utility, as far as its ability to take over my preferred tank in this case, I don't think it's going to do that this round. I'm glad I've got it at 70. I'm glad I've got and played all my tanks at 70, and I'm going to put together a general thoughts and 101 tanking video on all 3 now that I've got these done, and so kind of look forward to that. And I'll try to include a link in the description below if that's already been done by the time you're watching this video. But to be fair to Warrior, there's nothing against the job that I have. It's just the way that I tank. When I look at the Dark Knight, when I look at the Paladin, the ability to shield and protect my party, I find that really lacking on the Warrior. Now, I don't want all of the tanks to be the exact same, but the way that I personally like to tank, the way that I like to manage my hate and try to add value to the party, it just seems that it's not going to speak to me personally. And I'm sorry, hopefully I'm not offending anybody with this opinion piece, because Warrior's great. If you're enjoying it, awesome. I would highly encourage everybody give Warrior a shot, because I think that from especially a solo ability, you have a lot of DPS output. There's a lot of strengths the Warrior brings to the table, and even as we see adjustments happen to the jobs over the patch cycle for Stormblood, I do feel like they aren't really lacking anything. It might just be more increasing certain things or decreasing certain things, whether it's cost or increasing potencies and things like that. But the pure meta of the game in and of itself is continually going to be fleshed out, especially as we get harder and harder content. But at the end of the day, it is a fantastic job. I'd highly recommend it for people who like to play solo and who want to tank. It is incredibly strong in those regards. There are many times that I'm really happy I am a warrior, especially if the healer goes down and there's just a little bit left on the boss. The ability to recover a lot of your HP through damage is critical in this regard. I can't stress it enough, because if you have to take a break like a paladin and heal yourself, you're not outputting damage, and then it's a race of hopefully you have somebody else outputting damage. But I've been able to solo a couple of fights, especially when we're talking about the last 10%, and be able to output enough DPS to get the clear. Sometimes it's a bunch of nail biters, sometimes it's really close, but it's a good job. That's what I want you to take away from this completely. Now, for Brian personally, it's not going to be the winner. That could always change, and if it does, I'll absolutely put out an update guide but I have nothing but love. I have nothing but love for Warrior. I have nothing but love for the tanks in this game, and hopefully through any of my 101 guides, I've encouraged you guys to maybe take some first steps into the world of tanking in Final Fantasy. I think you'll find it very rewarding, especially with those really low insta-pop queues. So anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts. This isn't just about my opinion. I'd love to have that conversation with you. What do you guys think about Warrior? Is it lacking anything? Is it perfect? Like, what tank do you prefer in Stormblood? Let me know in the comments below, and let's have that conversation. But I'm going to wrap this up for Work to Game. My name's Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next. But until then, you have a fantastic week, and take care.
Thanks for watching. YouTube has a pretty cool video waiting for you over here. Our latest vlog is down below. For those of you new, subscribe is over here. And all of our other contact info is just right below me here. Thanks for watching.